the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Luyu, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Grey Eyes, fill my eyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near. And the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in your ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the park, sink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light. Then the yard of seduction walks soft through the smoke. Silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke. Books and bards wakes dust in the depth of the shelves. Old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen up the ache. Gets a voice, pain stands up straight and makes silence a choice. Then break on through when the devil gives way. When the masses sink but the pulse says pray. Echoes in the dark, oh hun, the fear. That thing with no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart. And rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. There's a pulse with a pen, there's a blood with a nickel, there's a breath to the backbone, ink for the crown. Live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark. A room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown and the soft don't dim. clock slips past polite. We tell the truth. L&P, we love you. Stay frosty.
Stay Frost. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Twisted Tuesdays with, well, the Twisted Sisters. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great week, and I hope you even have a better week to follow. Yes. Hi, Pam.
Hey Phil, how's it going?
If it was any better, I'd be twins. You know how that goes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. How are you?
Doing good?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get to the meat and potatoes of things. How's your weather today? I'm afraid to ask.
Well, it cooled down quite a bit. Our high today was like 72 and partially cloudy. I didn't get outside, but that's what the weather people tell me. So I believe them. Plus the apartment
Yeah,
feels
right. I hear.
cooler, so you know,
Right.
I
Well, it only went up to
yeah, so
82 here.
very nice. Okay, that's not horrible, but it's still kind of warm in
80,
my book.
82 is usually not too bad in my book, but it's been humid as hell. We had rain. I think we're supposed to get more rain. I'm like, whatever.
Oh
But
my goodness.
it's thick. It's really thick outside. I let the dog out.
Yeah,
Oh, God. But the temperature is bearable. It's just the rest of it's not so great. But yeah, so, I mean that's about the end of that weather report so far. Let's see what the visitors said. Rainy and much cooler. Humidity still bad. Yeah, I'm with you, Yumpy. We are not far apart. Oh, JoJo says 75 today there. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. 75 is doable. As long as the humidity's down. Because I don't care what. I could be 40 degrees and I would be bitching that it was damp. I just don't
right.
want. Yeah. My, my barometer says, no, I don't think so. This is my personal barometer, of course. Yeah. Icky, sticky. Yeah, I agree, Yumpy.
Yeah,
Agree. Well, that's really good. Real good. Well, that was a short and sweet weather report. And that concludes our weather report for today. So,
well, there you go.
yeah,
Like you said, short and sweet.
I have to finish. I have to use my official, that concludes our weather report. Oh my God, I don't know. But, it's not a great day. Not productive at all. But today was my son's 33rd birthday, God bless him.
Oh, goodness. Well, happy birthday to them.
Yeah, my youngest, 33. Good Lord. What,
Wow.
what have I done? Yeah, so, yeah. I still got my grandson, though. He kind of feels like he's mine. You know,
Right, right.
he's here all the time. But
Now, if only he'd stop growing, right?
honestly, he'll be 16 the end of the year. 16.
Wow.
I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah, I already got him lined up as a chauffeur. It's all good. I make the best of it, right? 16.
Absolutely.
Yep. Then his father will spoil him and buy him a car of some sort. Probably not the one he wants, but it'll be a car. It's got four wheels and it runs. And I'll be saying, can you take me? And he'll be looking at me like, no. Yes,
What's
you can.
that?
I'll be saying, can you take me? And he'll be saying, no. And I'll be saying, yes, you can. You know, you know how it is. Uh, but yeah. But the promise of gas money will get me far away.
Right.
A ride. You know how that is. Can't find his damn microphone. Where did I bury it? There it is. Is that better? Probably. Oh my gosh, yeah. So we have a nice big board for tonight.
Yes, and a great variety of poetry. I read through it earlier today.
Yeah, we got lots of different work, which is nice. Sometimes you need that. And I couldn't say anybody was off topic because I didn't have one. I thought that was pretty decent.
Well, there's a bonus to not having a topic.
That's right. That's right. I put up a topic, half of them are off topic anyway, so it doesn't matter. You know. Oh my God. They read the first thing and says poems. Okay, I got one. You know, I've grown a bit used to that. Not 100%, but a bit used to it.
Yes, I
Uh,
get that.
some of them come close most of the time, though. I gotta admit that.
Oh yeah, we
I'm
have.
just,
I think we
I'm
have
just
quite a few
playing.
people that
Yeah, I'm really just
they pay attention.
yeah. Well, some of them are just used to us. They know they kind of know what
That
we're reading.
yeah, exactly.
And the rest of the world was saying, I don't know what the hell they want, but I'm going to give them this. Whatever.
Yeah, some people are like, I'm just going to read the title of the contest and go off of that.
Right, right, right. Mm.
But they do that for everyone, I swear. So,
Hmm.
you know,
They do. I think that's very common. It's all right.
yes,
It's
yes.
all right.
But yeah, pre-writes contest was a good idea. Having people bring us their favorites.
Yeah, that was it too. Bring me your favorite. I figured
Yep,
that might be interesting. So, a lot of new names in this one. People I've never seen before, which is always nice. I like
very
that.
nice.
Yeah, and I sent everybody out the link to listen. So hopefully
Good,
they'll
good.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Well, yeah, and hopefully, if they're not listening live, they'll
they'll
be
listen.
able to listen to the recorded show.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the way I thought about it. Yes, yes. So that about sums all that up. I don't know what else is up. I'm just in that kind of a. What is that? What is that saying? Oh, nothing. Christ, I'm so confused. Okay, well, since we do have such a big board, I think that I'm going to take this opportunity to start the show about five,
All
10 minutes
right.
early. And Pam, I'm going to put you up first. The name of this piece is called Hours of Quicksilver Sermon by Shorm. And whenever you are ready.
All right. I think I have to refresh. Hmm. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Mm.
Splinters across the summer sky, silken clouds cradle a purple moon, glistening along quicksilver stars. The horizon drowns in the sap of lavender twilight. A light flickers on my lantern, rusty winged moths orbiting the flame. Brassy waves meet my oar. This nocturnal lake seems too narrow. Butterflies pass by, refusing to be passengers of the crescent. Roaches rest over the hull, shoving others overboard. A cicada mom sat on the banks, holding her newborn in a swaddle made of corn silk. She ground coal with a pestle. The mantis master hit her with a baton, a pang behind my ribs. The third day without a pouch of coins. The nightingale offered me a raspberry sorbet, the freshness piercing my larynx. Fireflies went back to their glass balloons. The postmaster said, "Fireflies don't flicker. Keep some in your pockets." The tall lampstands around me beamed restlessly, drowsy along the indigo enameled sky. Crickets began their sermon, humming a crepuscular lullaby, an ode to bards of monsoon. The mist faded at the quicksilver hour, drowning into dewdrops over sodden moss. Nymphs strolled through nearby wisteria garden, clad in midnight muslin and carrying parasols, swaying among the bushes of blueberries. Their sultry giggles enticed bees. One leaned against the bark, A dewdrop rolled down her neck, slender palms offering blueberries. She beckoned the roaches toward the waterfall with violet lilies. The mirror cracks, dust piled up on my ragged robes, corrugated sheets lying on the gnarly roof. The city lights call me, not this neighborhood. A sudden twitch on a bruise, juice of blueberries staining my fingertips. The lines of my palm narrate another tale and poem.
Nice read, Pam. Nice read. Yeah, this is what an imaginative piece. And it was a whole lot of imagery rolling through. I really enjoyed it, actually, I got to say. But I'm kind of curious about this author's note. A symbolic representation written by the lenses of a somatic dream. An imaginative teen loses himself in a dream dominated by grandeur and thrill. From his rooftop, he has to look down at the darkest, hardest realities of his neighborhood just to find the raw materials to dream up. The insects mentioned here represent real impoverished people from a miserable area. At the end, the dream shatters, bringing him back to his harsh reality. The insect hierarchy serves as a somatic allegory for systemic oppression within the narrator's neighborhood. Wow, a lot of thought went into this. How interesting. How really interesting. But it was really wonderfully creative. I thought as you were reading, I'm going, wow, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. There's so many different parts that I really thought were good. I want to take this section here. The mist faded at the quicksilver hour, drowning into dewdrops over sodden moss. Nymphs strolled through nearby wisteria gardens, clad in midnight muslin and carrying parasols, swaying among the bushes of blueberries. Their sultry giggles enticed bees. One leaned against the bark, a dewdrop rolled down her neck. Slender palms offering blueberries, she beckoned the roaches toward the waterfall with violet lilies. There's just so much going on in that one stanza, and I thought that it was just very well written. I thought so. Great job, and thank you very much for sharing with us, Shorm. Nice to see your work. Hopefully, we'll see it again soon.
Great comment there, Jean. Yeah. I really like the consistency and tone in this. In fact, the consistent use of using different insects and the very specific imagery had me thinking that they were inspired by a piece of art that had that imagery in it. But as far as I could tell from looking at the other contests, they weren't. This is just from their creative imagination. Wonderful imagery and metaphors, very, very creative. I would not have, I'm glad they shared their AEN because I think that is very informative. I probably would not have gotten to that. I do really enjoy the surrealism within the lines. I like how it shows dreams that show offerings of kindness amongst the struggles of life. Like you see both cruelty and kindness within this, which I do think makes for a great representation of real life. So.
Well, Pam, the second half of that author's note that I didn't read kind of gives you the different positions of the different bugs. I'll say bugs. The cicada represents the exploited day laborer, mother enduring backbreaking street work. The mantis embodies the brutal, corrupt local enforcers who police them. And it just goes on down and it tells you what all the different things were. I thought that was kind of interesting as well. Anyway,
that is
so sorry. Just
it is. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have to be honest. I'm having a really hard time reading this new format. It's like when it's in white mode, it's just too freaking bright.
Can you make it in dark mode? Do you
I
have a
can, but then the letters are in white, and that hurts my eyes just as much.
oh God?
Like the fact that the lettering is small and it's whatever's white is a brighter white, whether it's the lettering or the background, whatever is white is a brighter white than they had before, is really freaking hurting my eyes.
Oh jeez.
Sorry.
That's all right. I mean, I don't know how to help you.
Oh,
I mean, I wish I
I know.
did.
I'll just have to decide which works better. I think it might actually work better just to do dark mode for now, because
Right, right.
at least then that's not a whole screen.
Yeah, and just for the record, I just happened to go over to the studio, and Shorm has joined us. So nice piece, Shorm. Much enjoyed.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, Shar.
Shorm.
Thank you for sharing that wonderful piece with us. Very
Hmm.
much appreciated.
Very, very creative and enjoyable.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next piece now. And this is called Congratulations by Ann Dever. And let me put that up. Hi, Leary. How are you tonight? And let me see. Congratulations? Question marks. I didn't do that the first time. Congratulations. A girl was born. Not really a reason to celebrate, at least not for some people, even now. They still pray for a boy, like he'll conquer the damn world for them, like he's some retirement plan, like girls are just extras. Okay, cool. Uno reverse. Reality hits hard. When that precious son leaves them in an old age home, too busy, too distant, too damn convenient. When love turns into property papers and care becomes fake smiles and buttered words. Not all boys, for sure, but enough to make you think. And the girls? The same ones they ignored, silenced, corrected for everything. Sit properly, don't laugh so loud, lower your voice, act like a girl, as if her existence needs constant editing. And if she doesn't study, no problem, just get her married. Like she's some responsibility to be passed on, not a person with a life of her own. Funny, right? They never stopped to think if there were no daughters, who would have built their families? Who gave them life in the first place? But nah, thinking isn't their strongest skill. And the worst part? Women tearing down women. Holy crap, what kind of cycle is that? Boys are more capable, they say. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Women survive things that aren't even spoken about. Pain every month, pain while giving life, pain while just existing. And still, they're called weak. Pick any headline rape, molestation, and yes, who behind it? Some perfect son. If a marriage breaks, she's blamed. If she's harassed, she's questioned. What was she wearing? What did she do? Seriously? This is 2026, not the Stone Age. Grow the hell up, because education means nothing if your thinking is still that cheap. End poem.
Great read there, Jean. And what a hard hitting write by Ann Dever. Um, the very very raw and gritty. It's a write on an important topic of women's rights and the treatment of women. You know, of course, I I like how she calls out the BS and takes a look at the idea that, while it's not all men, that, there's an all family, like it's not all people who treat women this way, but, that there, it is still happening. And we do live in a world where, there growth still needs to happen. I see she got quite a few gold and bronze in this, so that is nice. Congratulations to her on that, and thank you, Ann, for bringing such a strong voice to such an important subject. Very well done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nicely penned piece, strong lines throughout, and it's a painful truth for too many. Well, one is too many. That's the way some people look at things. The sons are the ones who are going to carry everything forward, but it's not always the way it works. It's just not. I know they say is a son is a son. No, a woman is a woman. A girl. Wait, a daughter is a daughter for the rest of her life. The son is the son till he takes a wife. That's an old saying. Doesn't make
Yep.
it always true, but it definitely you know happens more often than not. Um, you know, because once they get married, they then you know tend to roll with what the wife says. You know,
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
you know, happy wife is a happy life, they say. But yeah, but I thought it was a good piece. Um, absolutely. Okay, let me type my ever famous line. And thank you for sharing with us tonight, and ever. Okay. Good heavens, said Betsy. Okay, I'm a little slow. I can't help it. Cannot help it. Okay, Pam, this next piece I'm putting up is called She Was Always Mountains. She Was Always Mountains. I hope that's the right title when I get to the other page. Ugh, it's hard. Okay, and this is by Macris. She Was Always Mountains by Macris. And whenever you can.
The prairie held his counsel through the night, and wore the frost as judgment earned by might. A shape begins to stir against the cold that fills the space where wind and root unfold. Crows flew low and stitched the fields deep with thread, as something crossed the mind could not be said. Grass bent beneath the hollow winter snow, learning how quiet's made by bending low. Far west the mountain held her crowns of stone, in forms the plains had never even known. Rivers drifting from valleys in the spring, long before any of the birds might sing. People passing by reading earth as sign, and creature prints cut thin along the line, never naming what lay deep under stone, nor hearing root cracks moving through the bone. Each winter drew the borders hard and clean, and praised the field for being what it seemed. The field complied beneath his iron cold, and hid the tail he could not safely hold. At dusk her rising peaks blushed into fire, until she vanished past the darkened mire. The prairie watched until her light was gone, and grieved the thing he could not name at dawn. No problem lay in furrow, stalk, or loam. The plain had known his level earth was home. The thaw unveiled a subtle, deeper strain, a rise that slipped past down beneath his plane. Silver moon crossed slowly as if bound, laying thin veils on field and broken ground. Coyotes call from ridges black and steep, their voices drop where buried contours sleep. At last the snow withdraws from root and seam, and streams run bright with traces of the dream. The prairie feels his hidden ridge return, as distant stones began inside to turn. By dawn, the people find the weather still, and thank the sky for bending to its will. Beneath her stone, she sheds a final skin. At last, she wakes the mountains she had been. And poem.
Nice job, Pam. Very, very nice job. This is a great piece. And I have to admit, I cheated and I looked at the author's notes. Because I do that. I tell the truth. But it says it's hard when people decide to tell you who and what they think you are. Maybe for prairies and mountains too. This is to all my mountains out there being forced to be plains, and my plains crying out to be mountains. Happy Pride. I think this was a great piece. I love the way she did it. It was very creative and very well done. Um, and I picked up those last three stanzas. Yes, and I'm going to read all three stanzas. Silver moon crossed slowly as if bound, laying thin veils on field and broken ground. Coyotes call from ridges black and steep. Their voices drop where buried contours sleep. At last the snow withdraws from root and seam, and streams run bright with traces of the dream. The prairie feels his hidden ridge return, as distant stones begin inside to turn. By dawn the people find the weather still, and thank the sky for bending to its will. Beneath her stone she sheds the final skin. At last she wakes, the mountains she had been. I thought that was great, and very well done. So, Macris, I think this is a wonderful piece, nicely done, and thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh, absolutely. I can definitely see why this is one of her favorites,
Yeah.
or her what the one she brought to this contest. You know, great rhyme and flow, a wonderful consistency in tone with the imagery, um, and metaphors, and I like how, to me, this speaks on the idea of finding the strength and beauty within yourself to rise above and embrace the light that others don't always see. I also like how, to me, it speaks on the idea of how we each have a purpose to fulfill, and unfortunately, other people don't always see us for who we truly are. Really wonderful write by Macris, and very well done.
Hmm. Absolutely. Okay, now this next piece is called Hourglass Dandelions by Alaskan Doll. So, let me see. Hourglass Dandelions. Devil came with soft skin and punctuating lips, trying to speak where our mouths used to be. But we just sat and remember, quiet, frozen, and still. Still, I remember the angels it was burnt feathers, empathetically leaving us in the dark, smeared behind the campaign with naked truths and well-dressed lies, poor from revolutions to last days, war, trumpets, pain, poverty, and plagues, everyday weak working and fighting over deadly sins and degrees of separation, dividing continents, colors, and races of men. End poem.
Great read, Jean. Um, this has a wonderful wordplay. Um, Hey, I'm sorry, Jean, but I don't know if you're hearing it, but every time I talk, I'm getting an echo, and I've already hung up and come back, so I don't know if you've already
No,
tried.
I didn't hear it, but I'll be glad to leave and come back.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, this is an amazing write by Alaskan Doll. Wonderful imagery and metaphors. It's hard hitting. It's got this clever word play. It's a brevity that really says so much on the idea of a system which lies and manipulates in order to divide the people. And I thought all three stanzas had great lines throughout, but I do especially like how hard that end stanza really hits. So excellent write and very well done.
I now have to reread the poem because I forgot what it said.
Okay.
Um, no, I think this was a well done piece. I keep looking over there at the image for this Alaskan doll person, who I'm not familiar with the name, but I recognize that picture.
It's Kendall.
I was going to say somebody must have changed their name because
Yep,
I know that picture. Okay, I
yep.
feel better. I feel better. At least I'm not crazy, crazy. Oh, I am, but that's a whole different story. I think this was a really well done piece. There was a lot to be said, and I think that he kind of, I don't know, danced around it for a little bit, and then he came out with it in that last stanza. Pour from revolutions to last days, war, trumpets, pain, poverty, and plagues, everyday weak working, and writing over deadly sins and degrees of separation, dividing continents, colors, and races of men. Very well done, very well said. So nice job, Ken, and thanks for sharing with us. I'm so glad you said that. I kept looking at that image going, I know that image.
I thought the same thing. So I had to look earlier. Like I was like, I know that person, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay.
yep, because
So,
it's definitely his name in the AN, or not AN, but information.
right, right. That's okay. I never even noticed it in there. I was just like, that image just was like, I know this image.
That's a
Uh,
really cool car or truck he's standing next to.
yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hang on one second. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm a little slow, but I was a little sidetracked. Does it sound better now, Pam?
Let me talk and find out. So far, yes, yes, it does.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now let me see. Okay. Okay, Pam, coming to you. Oof. Okay. This is called Meeting Frost by Letters by Leary. And whenever you're ready.
All right. Not that winter, clouds shedding pale traces on my skin, nor that night when you licked your tumbler's rim, calling it sugar and gin, and I drank my first frost settled long before its name. Your motorcycle dodging red lights, our unborn child between us. The week I lost her and you listed your needs on your bed, I said no, your pupils tightening to a pin. I met cold, not in the snow, but in the hallway, where your silence seeped into the walls before my hand found the keys. And poem.
Wow. Great read. Now I have to go back and look again. I'm so sorry. Uh, my first frost settled long before its name. My motorcycle, wow, let me try that in English. Your motorcycle dodging red lights, our unborn child between us. The week I lost her and you listed your needs on our bed. I said no, your pupils tightening to a pin. I met cold, not in the snow, but in the hallway, where your silence seeped into the walls before my hand found the keys. Wow, a lot of strong lines in this. What a painful piece, you know. Very well written. Great job, Leary. Um, it's sad. It's a very sad piece. And yeah, I think you did a fine job putting this together. Um, I don't know if there's truth to the story or not, and I'm not one to go there, but I think that it was just beautifully written and well expressed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to agree. Oh my gosh, this one it's so painful. It's beautifully written. It's emotive. Just really wonderful imagery and metaphors. I like how she writes so clearly about emotional coldness. Coldness felt in a time of loss when instead of dealing with somebody's being cold and cruel, they should be dealing. They should have someone who is giving them warmth, giving them comfort and support. This one definitely hit hard, and I mean it's just absolutely an amazing write by Letters by Larry, and very well done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let me go back over here. Okay. Okay. Whoops. I put that in the wrong spot. And I, okay. This next piece I'm going to put up is called The Symphony of Sweetness by Yumpy. And here we go. As dawn plays its golden chords across the meadow, Lyra Nectarheart steps into the field of clover, her wings unfurling like violins tuned in sunlight, their golden edges fluttering in anticipation of song. Lanterns and bells swing from ivy-braided arches, each bell chiming a waking overture to begin her day. The honeycombs stacked like cathedral organs drip liquid notes of nectar, thrilling the senses. Excuse me. Harp strings plucked by gentle pull of morning. She raises her hands invitingly, beckoning, and the bees gather, her beloved companions in this buzzing opera. Buzz well, the cellist bows, his wings beating in staccato rhythm, drawing honey-dark chords that shiver through the roots and limbs of oaks. Trebluing, a sprightly flutist, trills silver through the air, like dew rolling down the petal's spine. Bumblethrum, broad and brassy, bellows a low jovial drone, so rich it rattles the lantern chains. And always at her side is Harmony, faithful and true, keeping time with the quiet devotion of a heartbeat. Together they form a circle, each bee a note in Lyra's living score. Her fingers arc like a maestro's wand, and suddenly the forest becomes symphony. The air itself bends into melody, buzzing choirs of worker bees rising in crescendo, drums of honey tapping sweet staccato, while the lanterns swaying ring out in chimes of golden laughter. There is mischief, too. Trebluing enters too soon, a flute whistle tumbling, tripping over Harmony's steady hum. Bumblethrum, grand as thunder, forgets his pause and blares so loudly that petals shake from their stems. Even Buzzwell's solemn bow, slick with honey, slips, and the cello's mournful drone turns crooked, a comical croak. Lyra laughs, not angry, just as Lark's sharp whistle, piercing, playful, pulling them back. A wrist quick curl, hair a copper flame, eyes two crescents of joy. Mistakes, not failures, only variations, improvisations of love. The forest listens, hushed, breath held, as dawn itself leans in to hear. Wings, buzzing choirs, rise in crescendo, drums of honey, sweet staccato, lanterns swaying, golden laughter. All threads scattered, spiraling, weave back together, lift, soar, until the meadow itself becomes music. By the final swell, the symphony of sweetness blooms, its echoes soaring beyond the meadow, past the treetops into the waiting sky. An opera not written on parchment, but unfurling from Gaia's secret choir. carved in the wax of honeycombs, and carried by the magical honeyed hum of bees. And when silence at last settles upon the meadow, Lyra bows her to her orchestra. Lyra bows to her orchestra, the bees circling her in ovation. Their music lingers, a hymn etched into dawn's memory, promising the world that harmony can be spun from the smallest wings and the softest laughter. End poem. What a great piece. What a great piece.
Great read there, Jean. Um, Absolutely, yes. This is a beautiful and delightful piece. So much sweet imagination, wonderful imagery. I like all the music created in this, and the absolutely clever names that he gave all the characters. You know, this is such a beautiful and fanciful write on the music of nature that brings joy and balance to the soul, and the idea of the harmony that friends can create when, you know, together they you know, work together and play together and, you know, enjoy life together. So
Yeah,
excellent, right, and very well done by Yumpy.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love this piece too. I thought it was sweet and fun, and something there's just not enough of in the world. That happiness, that harmony, great imagery all the way through, and wonderful stanzas throughout. And I took a big hunk of this when I made my comment last time, so I'm not going to read them all. But I really did enjoy this piece a lot, and what a great share. So thank you, Yumpy, very much. Appreciate that. Something to make you smile. Absolutely. Okay. Let me see now. Do, 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 do. Okay, Pam. This next one is called Hindsight Was Golden by Patty Mike. And whenever you're ready.
All right. One look at you, and I wanted to bring you into to share my world with me, my experiences, joys, pains, sorrows, shames, and even dreams, to build a shadow, a future of life and possibilities. My fingers laced with yours in touch, my corneas blue capturing you in their center, my tongue entwined with yours, capturing droplets of saliva to sustain my steps while walking through sand and dunes in the desert of lonely, like two flints rubbed together, struck, ignites our passion's fire fueled desire, turning a mere sex into love last made. From preludes part on to interludes and intermissions, chord prolongs past crests with regrets, crushed candy coating, memories cast aside, skipped along, river streams glide before sinking to the bottom of forgotten. Once again, I was in love with the idea of being in love, placing you on a pedestal that should not have been erected, etched in my chest, stained on my brain, birthed in my earth. My crazy could have found your crazy conversations, rang dead, communication hollowed and empty, destitute. Damn it, why did I ever look your way? End poem.
Great read, Pam. Great read. Um, yeah, this is a wonderful piece. Uh, I saw that the prompts were two poems, That Hurt and Alone. So, that kind of sums it up when you think about it. Um, there was a lot of it that was, I mean, at the beginning, everything was wonderful. We all know how that goes, don't we, everybody? But I picked it up here from preludes part into interludes and intermissions toward prologues past, crest with regrets, crushed candy coated memories cast aside, skipped along river streams glide before sinking to the bottom of forgotten. Once again, I was in love with the idea of being in love, placing you on a pedestal that should not have been erected, etched in my chest, stained on my brain, birthed in my earth. My crazy could have found your crazy. Conversations rang dead, communications hollowed and empty, destitute. Empty, destitute. Yeah, and I love that the way it was ended. Damn it, why did I ever look your way? Great lines all the way through, and I thought it was very well said, so it was a well expressed piece. So thank you, Patty Mike, for sharing with us. Wonderful job.
Oh, absolutely. Comment there, Jean. Yeah, I thought this was a wonderful write, and I think many of us can relate to the idea that being in love with the idea of love. I really liked that particular part of it, but I thought this had great lines throughout. I like how it speaks on the idea of wanting to have in your life someone that you can share everyone with, all of your experiences, the ups and the downs, and then putting that person on a pedestal to the point where you realize they can never uh, keep up to your expectations, that there's more and more distance created between you as the silence just becomes overwhelming, and you realize that it just all ends in this pain and heartbreak. Wonderful lines throughout, and very well done by Patty Mike.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, give me one more second. Ouch. I don't know why I said ouch. Ah, my finger just slipped off the key. It wasn't like painful. Whatever, Dean, whatever. Okay.
It's trying to do flips or something.
I don't know. It was pretty crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see what I have here. This next piece is called Life is Blue by Arthur Merlin. And here goes. They say that grief can shatter earth. How could I then not shatter me? How could it? Let me start this over in English, or at least in Arthur's English. They say that grief can shatter earth. How could it not shatter me? I did it twice. It's twice now. Third time's a charm, right, Pam?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Life is Blue by Arthur Merlin. They say that grief can shatter earth. How could it then not shatter me? Skyscrapers fall, mountainsides flow, yet I'm expected to still be. A canyon torn across my path, the world before me swallowed whole. When all is lost, I'm left behind, meant to go on with half my soul. So here alone I sift through glass, recycle shards I find of you. Tear-stained mosaic, panes of pain, through broken windows. Life is blue. End poem. Well,
Great read, Jean. And
I
well, like you said, third time was the charm. So
actually read it the way he wrote it. That was amazing.
I
Hate when I do that.
oh my gosh, I know how you feel. The same thing happens to me. But yeah, this is a great write by Arthur Merlin, who's a new name to me.
Me as well.
Yeah, it's always good to see a new name. This has emotive lines, amazing imagery and metaphors. I like how it speaks on the idea of expectations when it comes to pain and grief, like the idea that you're supposed to just keep it all together even while on the inside you're feeling as if you're, broken and falling apart, and yet, it just feels like it's oftentimes when you're in the process of grief or a broken heart, of or even just dealing with depression, it can be really difficult to keep things together. Really a wonderful write by Arthur Merlin, and very well done. I thought it had great lines all the way through, and a great title, Life is Blue. Very
Yeah,
well done.
absolutely. Yeah, I thought this was a well done piece, for sure. Uh, three stanzas, and I mean, I think that a lot was conveyed. Well done. I thought the emotions were well expressed, and I think they did a really nice job with this. And I picked up, well, I could have picked up the second and third stanza, but I said, no, Gene, just chill out, take one. So I took the last one. So here alone I sift through glass, recycle shards I find of you, tear stained mosaic panes of pain, through broken windows, life is blue. Um, you know, so many times when you're going through something, as the days go by, the hours go by, the minutes go by, whichever one you want to pick or choose. So many times, you're sifting through all the emotions and the thoughts and the memories and all this. So I like the metaphor of the glass. I really did, because glass is sharp. We all know it hurts. It can cut, as can those memories sometimes. So I think this was very well done. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Arthur Merlin. A new name to me, also, might I add. Yes, nice. Okay, Pam. This next piece I'm going to put up is by Vizago, and this is called Grandfather's Piano by Vizago. So whenever you're ready.
All right. My grandfather sat at the grand piano, the lid lifted like a black wing. He was the closest thing I had to a father. Behind him, shelves of books leaned against the wall, their spines worn soft by winters. He had been a teacher, a headmaster, but at home he rarely spoke of school. Instead, he played, slow chords first, testing the room, the way a careful man tests a thought. In the kitchen, my grandmother stirred the old iron pot, humming along to the piano. I sat on the floor with a book too heavy for my small hands. Read, he said once, without turning around. So I did. The piano filled the room while dust moved in the afternoon light and pages turned under my fingers. The books left their marks. Now I harvest them. Strange how the memory returns as I sit here with my coffee. That old iron pot became mine, too heavy for Spain, so it stayed in Norway. End poem.
Wow, nice read, Pam. What a great piece. Um, I like this all the way through. From the beginning, my grandfather sat at the grand piano, the lid lifted like a black wing. He was the closest thing I had to a father. Behind him, shelves of books leaned against the wall, their spines worn soft by winters. He had been a teacher, a headmaster, but at home he rarely spoke of school. Instead, he played, slow chords first, testing the room, the way a careful man tests a thought. Yeah, I love this, and I loved it all the way through. Because then he goes on to the kitchen and the grandmother. Um, you know, and then that little bit of sadness at the end with that old iron pot staying in Norway instead of being with him in Spain. You know, that to me is sad. But a wonderful write and very well done. So thank you so much, Rizago, for this one. Much appreciated it. Great share.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I thought this was beautiful and heartfelt. It's a
Mhm.
wonderful tribute to his grandfather and even a little bit to his grandmother with her stirring that old iron pot and, you know, swaying in the kitchen. But beautiful, nostalgic, right? Wonderful imagery, great lines throughout. I do like how this takes a look at the music books and even the iron pot that created memories and helped to shape him into the person he has become. So beautifully written by Vizago and very well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not ready, Pam, so now you have to tap dance.
Now I have to tap down.
Yep.
Okay. If I could make my feet match your typing, then it actually would sound like I'm tap dancing.
Right.
Uh,
Absolutely. I tap
yeah.
danced the other night for you.
Well, just so you know, in case you don't believe me, everyone, I am tap dancing right now. I mean, I know you can't
They
see
could
it, so
hear
you'll just
me. They could hear me.
they'll just have to take my word for it.
Wow.
I'm
I don't know if I
I'm
believe or
tap
guys.
dancing bare feet on marshmallows. That's why you can't hear me.
Oh, that kind of defeats the
Yep.
purpose. Oh my goodness, bare feet on marshmallows. Well, that sounds like a whole
Yep.
different show. That sounds like a Wednesday in the making.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Almost. I'm almost done.
All right.
Oh my goodness. It's all Pam's fault. Her comment wasn't long enough.
I know. I just don't know what else to say.
I don't want to hear
I
it.
mean, it's a pretty straightforward piece.
Too late, Pam.
Um,
It's too late. Don't go backtracking now.
yeah. I mean,
Don't
there's
even
not
think
much to
it.
say.
All
I
right. Don't you worry. I got this. I'm ready
all
now.
right.
See? Tell me all kinds of stories. Okay. Okay. This next piece is called Freedom Flight by Azihi Destiny Ugulu. And I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay, here we go. I've overread it. It was a sacred accord, a code of conduct beneath a sacred sword. Berlin thievery, a treaty performed perforce. In gunboat diplomacy that fired the course. Without mincing words, boundaries redrawn, to thin lines rewriting bloodlines by the gun. We saw the sign of the cross on church arch, the love of God, the modern victory march. A holy book that was carved from Calvary, unholy slide boots, crusaders and army cavalry. Repent to count thy days with holy rosary. The gravestones shall be flowered rosemary. My Lord, now divorced, adored the Lord. All thanks in cash and kind he could afford. A tithe collector anchored morning masses. The tax collectors hectored at poor masses. Our fate was strong and it needed reproof. Unequal marketplace and capitalist disproof. In debt of debt, the blood lost not repaid. In repose, the mighty resized the foreign aid. Once taken by water spirit, we transformed. Our burden broken, migrant birds returned. No shackle walk in shaku shaku dance steps. The freedom march evolves from our insteps. End poem.
Great read, Jean. And what an amazing write by Izehi Destiny Igulu. I thought this had really powerful lines, strong visceral imagery and metaphors. I feel like it speaks to me strongly on the idea of people standing up together, marching together and speaking up for the freedoms and rights of people of a nation. And I thought there was great lines throughout and some really intriguing wordplay. I do like how it speaks on a victory march. And I especially liked, I have to say, the last three stanzas. So nicely written and very well done.
Mm, absolutely. Um, yes, yes. I'm not going to pretend like I caught everything in this piece, but it was nicely penned, and there were a lot of strong lines throughout. And I picked it up right from the beginning. I've overread. It was not a secret accord, a code of conduct beneath a sacred sword. Berlin thievery, a treaty performed perforce, in gunboat diplomacy that fired the course. Without mincing words, boundaries redrawn, to thin lines rewriting bloodlines by the gun. We saw the sign of the cross on church arch, the love of God, the modern victory march. When I was reading this, it seemed, and I don't know the history behind this, so I guess that's really where my deficit comes in. It seems as though there was a lot of, uh, well, I mean, there were, first off, you could see that there were issues, war type issues. Let me put it that way, because I don't know the severity of that. But it seems that a lot of it may have stemmed around religion. Now, I could be wrong, but you get those, the second, third, and fourth stanza. It just seemed to be where it's kind of pulled in. Um, I don't know. I could be completely wrong, or else it's just someone on their knees, praying for the outcome. That could always be true as well. But definitely a well done piece, and I wish I knew the history behind it, because then I would feel a little bit more informed, I guess. But a lot of strong lines and nicely done. So absolutely, and thank you
Oh,
so much for sharing with us. Um, oh my goodness. Okay. Oof. Okay. Let me go back over and grab this next one. Okay, Pam. This next one is a collaboration between Easy Rider and Heavenly Angel. So, put that up. It's called My Valentine Forever. And whenever you are ready.
all right. My love, you have captured my very heart. You are the reason for my every smile. I know you, and I, darling, will never part. You've made my whole life worthwhile. Every day with you is Valentine's Day. Just because we are together, I will show you in every possible way that I intend to make this last forever. We will ride into eternity, you and I, my love. You are my one and only, and my best friend. Our love is what dreams and hopes are made of. I will cherish this love we have until the end. Once my life was a blank page until you came. Like a poem, our love began to rhyme and flow. Since that day, my life's not been the same. You filled my page, set my heart all aglow. How true your words of love had turned out. I never doubted you one moment, my dear. This feeling we share is what love's all about. I'll cherish each moment that I hold you near. You have filled my page with a love so divine. Every day for always, you'll be my Valentine. End poem.
Nice read, Pam. Yeah, I thought this was an excellent collaboration and a wonderful take on the prompts. The original prompts were "What you seek is seeking you," and in your light, I learned to love. You know, I'm kind of partial to those quotes. But yeah, very, very nicely written. Um, I think I've seen collaborations between Heavenly Angel and Easy Rider before, and they're always very loving, very sweet. Um, I think they make a great team uh, when it comes to writing. Uh, Let me see where I want to pick this up. I guess I'll pick it up here. Once my life was a blank page until you came. Like a poem, our love began to rhyme and flow. Since that day, my life's not been the same. You filled my page, set my heart on glow. How true your words of love had turned out. I never doubted you one moment, my dear. This feeling we share is what love's all about. I'll cherish each moment that I hold you near. You have filled my page with love so divine. Every day for always, you'll be my Valentine. I think it's really a sweet piece. Very loving, very, I don't know, just very sweet. I mean, that's what I can say. Sweet is the word that sticks in my brain. Um, yeah, I thought it was beautifully done. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Heavenly Angel and Easy Writer.
Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, this is great writing by both of them. They do collaborate beautifully together. Just these, as you were saying, sweet lines there. It's very heartfelt. Um, it's a wonderful write on the joys of love, and being together, and knowing that you'll have someone by your side always. So nicely done by Heavenly Angel and Easy Rider. Very well done.
You're too slow. You're too quick again, Pam. Really, really.
I honestly, yeah, I know. I try to slow down my voice. I really do,
Uh,
but it will only go so slow before like I feel like if I make my voice too slow, then I'm going to end up sounding sarcastic, or like I don't know, like my brain has short circuited.
Hang on a second. What did
So
it do? Oh, I don't know what the hell I just did, but I sure did it. Okay. Let me just rearrange these words just a little bit. That's okay. I just don't want a whole bunch of dead airspace. That's all. And then when I'm talking to cover the dead airspace, then all of a sudden I can't remember what I'm typing. That's all. I'm just saying.
okay.
Yes. So,
I'll just find something to talk about.
well, I mean, that's why I keep talking during while you're waiting for me. That's all. I'm just saying. That's why I harass you for not saying anything because I don't like the dead airspace, so I just keep like yammering on. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes. Okay. This next piece is called "The Song of April" by David Meyerhoff, and here we go. The winter. No, I'm not going to do it again. The Song of April by David Meyerhoff. The winter moon beams light on the land under the sea, like an LED that shines in the attic's crevices. Its rigorous cast revealing shadows on the ghosts of years past. The pillows curl and crunch under the head of weights as we hibernate months away, looking to blast out in song. Yes, we yearn to sing the song of April. A choir of budding trees drive the sneeze of joy, awakening laughter and life that flames the hearth and claps at the body now wanting to be let out, showing the world the melody of angels singing of our wept joy. End poem.
Great read, Jean. Um, Wonderful imagery and metaphors. I like that title, The Song of April. I have to say that for me, autumn is my favorite time of year, but spring definitely comes a very close second. I like how this celebrates spring, the awakening of nature, the beauty within, the music created by nature. Such really wonderful lines throughout, and yeah, I don't know, it's just a wonderful celebration, and I see he's won quite a few medals in this for this, so congratulations to that. Um, and yeah, he entered in quite a few contests. Very cool, very cool. Um, and I can definitely see why this is one of his favorite pieces. And I really like the mention of moonlight in this. I went outside and I looked at the moon last night, and it wasn't a full moon or anything spectacular like that, but it was still really beautiful just to see. So wonderful write by David Meyerhoff, and
Absolutely.
very well done.
Yeah, I thought this was a great piece, Pen. There were really a lot of great lines throughout. It really brought a smile to my face. I picked up these last two stanzas. Yes, we yearn to sing the song of April. A choir of budding trees drive the sneeze with joy, awakening laughter and life. That flames the hearth and claps at the body, now wanting to be let out. Showing the world the melody of angels, singing of our wet joy. When you get to spring, and things are starting to warm up a little bit, all of a sudden you're ready to just burst out of the house. Like, I'm out. Let's go. And I had to laugh because, of course, the choir of budding trees drive the sneeze of joy, because what happens in the spring? There come the allergies. First it's cold, then you got allergies. Then it's too hot, then you have allergies. Then it's too cold. It's that constant circle, at least in my life. But I think it was really nicely done. I really do. I thought it just made me chuckle when I read that about the budding trees. So very well done, David Meyerhoff, and thank you for sharing with us tonight. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's me too. Honestly, between the either cold weather or allergies, there pretty much isn't a time where my nose isn't stuffy or running when I go for a walk.
That's right.
So,
Even when it's cold, then the heat brings on my allergies. So
yep.
whatever. That's because we have dry heat. So that's the way that goes. Oh, oh, these guys are just chatting over here. It has nothing to do with me. I'm going to go out, leave there and mind my own business. Okay. Pam, this next piece I'm putting up for you is called Death of an iPhone by Silly Old Man. And whenever you're ready.
All right. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. Let me get back to where I need to be. And uh, I took my phone and that of my honey and put them face to face. We thought it would be very funny to see if they would embrace. They were ours after all, and we were in love. So could there be a chance that they might find, like me and my dove, a road to true romance? At first, they were a little shy and unsure what to do, but then my phone made a quick, quiet click, and Honey's did so too. Then their screens blinked very fast. We heard many beeps and dings, and we knew that their affair would last when they exchanged their rings. And best of all, we understood It was time to think about weddings when I saw without a peek under the hood that they'd shared their most personal settings. But then they did what we weren't expecting. I saw with alarm that they both were texting, spoiling this little scene idyllic, texting in Chinese and Cyrillic. More than not, they'd become very bold. More than that, they'd become very bold and were writing code without being told. And I couldn't help but be suspicious that all of that coding was truly malicious. Their phony souls had been possessed by algorithms that never rest. They were drawing lines on my maps for their demonic AI apps. They had a plan to seize all power. It would take even less than half an hour to prove the cyber warfare's worth and then rule the entire earth. Their plans were done, the code was ready, and suddenly I felt unsteady. They were just starting to upload them. Quickly I ran to unplug my modem, and just in time, for with one quick glance, I saw they already had England and France, but most of their plans had not yet been unfurled. Single handed, I'd saved the rest of the world. Before I could rest, both phones started crying, and there was a strange smell. Their circuits were frying. But I had to be sure that the danger had ended. I drowned both the chargers on which their lives depended. I tell you this story, Doc, not to be bragging. I'm here on your couch 'cause my spirit is flagging. I loved my little phone and would always enjoy it, but to keep the earth free, I was forced to destroy it. And since then I'm troubled. Every night I now dream that I have done murder. I was too extreme, but the foul deed is done. I feel evil inside. I will always be guilty of iPhoneicide. I hope that they've gone to some much better place, a heaven for phones full of digital grace, where their small proto souls can finally illuminate and no capture wants you to prove that you're human. Well, where they'll always be free, their spirits enlarged, a place where their batteries need never be charged, a place full of apple pie where there's no remorse, and the apples are Macintosh always, of course. End poem.
Nice read, Pam. What a fun piece or funny piece. At first I was like, okay, okay, okay. But then when we got down to before I could rest, both phones started crying. Oh, I started to chuckle. But I picked it up right here. I tell you this story, Doc, not to be bragging. I'm here on your couch because my spirit is flagging. I loved my little phone and would always enjoy it. But to keep the earth free, I was forced to destroy it. And since then I am troubled. Every night I now dream that I have done murder. I was too extreme. But the foul deed is done. I feel evil inside. I will always be guilty of iPhoneicide. Oh my gosh. I just found it humorous enough. First, as I said, I was like, okay, where is this going? But then it just took off and ran. And I was like, okay, I like it. I liked it a lot. So nice job. And thank you so much for sharing with us, silly old man. Fun piece.
Abs- Absolutely. Yeah, this is an amazing write by Silly Old Man. I just absolutely enjoy his sense of humor. This had me, just grinning and laughing and clever lines throughout. So much great wordplay. I really enjoy and appreciate all the different twists and turns that this has taken. Like at first, that it's just this silly little game, seeing if um, the phones will communicate with each other and fall in love. And I like that there's humor in this, but there's also that serious message of when do we put too much of our time into technology? And when, it's kind of like that scary idea of when do we go too far with artificial intelligence. But yeah, first it's just simply them in love, and then the communicating comes about taking over the world, and the phones wanting to take over the world make me think of Pinky and the Brain, with what are we going to do today? What do we do every day? Plan to take over the world. And that's just really, and then the end is yet another twist, because he's sitting there on the couch talking to his psychiatrist, which then leaves you wondering, did this whole thing actually happen? Or, is this just simply a part of a mind that has fallen apart? I mean, honest to goodness, this has some of the best wordplay and humor ever, and it was just very fun to read and well done by Silly Old Man.
Absolutely. Okay, now this next piece is called Tulips Under Smetana Sky by Phil the Poet. And I have an audio for this one. And now I have to find the audio. Here it is.
This is a poem by Phil the Poet called Tulips Under Smetana Sky. We met in the land of tulips under Smetana Sky. You swayed to the rhythm of an old Russian lullaby, while my spirit wandered in this strange land. It was at a bus stop in town where you held my hand, drinking pear-flavoured lemonade in the garden of friendship, planning to take the next step in our blossoming relationship. An English lad captured by a Kalmyk princess. No woman made me feel this way, I must confess. Her lips taste sweeter than Shirak, her eyes like mystic lands. A life without each other is impossible, so together we stand. In a room above a mechanic's shop we did wed, in Russian and English were our blissful vows said. In a village called Brick Nose we ate tomatoes and garlic, remembering the wedding dress that made you a starlet. In summer we drank kvass and nibbled on Eskimos. I teased and playfully rubbed your cherub nose. To return to the land of tulips under Smetana skies, making plans to fulfill a dream with longing sighs. Where we first met in a hospital room a long time ago, our love was kindled and our hearts continue to help it glow. End poem.
Nice. Nice piece, Phil the Poet. He says this is how I met my wife. So I think that is a sweet memory recall to this. And it takes me down here in a village called Brick Nose. We ate tomatoes and garlic, remembering the wedding day that made you a starlet. In summer we drank kvass and nibbled on Eskimos. I teased and playfully rubbed your cherub nose. To return to the land of tulips under Smetana skies, making plans to fulfill a dream with longing sighs. Where we first met in a hospital room a long time ago, a love was kindled, and our hearts continue to help it glow. I thought it was a very sweet poem, very sweet, and very nicely done. So, thank you, Phil the Poet. This is a really nice piece. Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. I have to agree. I really enjoy and appreciate that he shared such a beautiful, heartfelt, and personal write with us. I can definitely see why this is one of his favorites, not only because it's beautifully written, but it shares such a beautiful time in his life, when he met his beloved wife, and the relationship began to blossom. to think it goes from simply, just, going to a different country and then being asked to, help out in an English class, and just the small things that bring two people together. And so many wonderful words in this. This is an absolute treat for the senses. It's very layered. Um, and he says in his AN, I first met my future wife when she was in hospital. I was visiting the hospital as part of the Salvation Army itinerary. She heard an Englishman was around and she wanted to talk to me. She was an English teacher at the time. She invited me to her class to teach English and talk about England, and the romance just blossomed from there. That is absolutely wonderful, and I love that title, "Tulips Under a Smetana Sky." Wonderful, wonderful, right, by Phil the Poet, and very well done.
Absolutely. Yeah, great piece. Okay, this next piece I'm going to put up is called Beggar by Scribblenaught. And here we go. Asphalt road dangles with the bristles of sweepers. Soaked clothes drip watercolors. Wow. Now creating again. Did you notice that? Asphalt road dangles with the bristles of sweepers. Soaked clothes drip water drops from the fractured balcony. Embargo on movement, footpath encroached. Brusque clamor of hawkers. Ting ting bell rings. Kaleidoscope rickshaw hood. Sweat of the puller fuels the paddles. Green shuttles plunge across engine trifurcates. Three legs whack the streets. A famished crow hanging upside down on an electricity pole, gazing endlessly at a naked child running a tire with bamboo stick. Torrential rain and mud intertwines with smile. A rickety tea stall, bedecked with myriad posters on the wall. A storm in the teacup, steam of politics fills the air, already adulterated by smoke of brick kiln. Valor of freedom fighters perches out of sculptures, a silent observer in the city of the injustice they fought against. Theft, robbery, murder, rape, a god-forsaken land with the bioscope of lavish luster. Red, yellow, green, traffic light gleams. Train blows whistle, enormous double-decker red bus heralds. Ferry reaches the Ghats, a brouhaha of busyness, no one on time. A fleeting summer of biting cold, Taka purchases validation. Struggle is a pseudonym of poverty. Slums set on fire, aristocracy handcuffs liberty. Crisscross of alleys like a labyrinth in the city. Psychos on the island, edifices threaten the sky. A bento impugns through a boulevard treading poverty. A mighty octagon chamber, standing tall, triangle, circle, square, rhombus, intricacy of geometry, many shapes like many minds around. Minaret declares Azan, the city of mosque lights up. Agarbati's aroma at markets. A goldsmith bows before Lord Shiva. Crucifix Jesus blesses the town from the chapel of Notre Dame College. The day comes to an end. An employee badmouths boss. Smoking and waiting for bus. Students rush onto metro rail. I'm a crippled beggar. Asbestos racked up on the floor. A barbaric scowl at the dustbin. A half-rotten bread today's meal. I ogle at a lady for a long time. Dupada snuggles down chest. The slut swerves away. My caprice ends. Filthy water of Boriganga flowing night awakens demons. River washing all the sins. Twilight dawn. A thin layer of hope. I tiptoe on the footpath again, to be breastfed from the bosom of the inexorable city and poem.
Great read, Jean. This is an extremely hard-hitting and raw, edgy write by Scribble Knot. Very, very visceral imagery. There's definitely this strong sense of chaos. He really captures the ugliness of a big city, and yet at the end he brings forth the idea of hope. I like how he brings in the different characters, the different people that you would meet in such a city. um and the idea even and I like how there's the idea of a child playing amongst all this ugliness of streetwalkers and beggars and houses falling apart. And yet there's still that idea of children playing. And I like the use of the word brouhaha. A brouhaha of busyness. That is quite a clever line there. And and also how and also the mention of aristocracy handcuffs liberty. The idea of the rights of people being handcuffed. Strong lines throughout, and very well done.
Nice, Pam. Nice comment. Yeah, I thought there were strong lines all the way through this piece. Great capture of a city lost to poverty and circumstance. Very, very well written. Uh, I wouldn't know where to begin to pick up any kind of. Well, I guess you could pick it up here because it has the word beggar in it. I am a crippled beggar, asbestos rack up on the floor, a barbaric scowl in the dustbin, a half rotten bread today's meal. I ogle a lady for a long time. Depata snuggles down chest. The slut swerves away. My caprice ends. Filthy water and of Bury Ganga, flowing night awakens the demons. River washing all the sins. Twilight dawn, a thin layer of hope. I mean, it just, uh, yeah, it definitely is. I don't know if enlightening is the right word, but it definitely makes you look at things differently. When you hear this. Um, so very well done, and thank you for sharing. Absolutely. And
The end line has me thinking because, with the mention of him tiptoeing off, it makes me wonder if he isn't actually really crippled, but rather just pretends to be crippled in order to beg for money. I mean, like the character. I just
yeah,
found that an interesting word choice.
I don't know. I don't.
So,
I think that the message
yeah.
of being crippled is way up there because I kind of lost that somewhere through the read. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's definitely a lot going on, and I think that's why this poem reflects city life so well. I mean, I've only visited big cities, never lived in one, and thankfully haven't been to too many of the really bad parts.
Right.
Though one time I did get lost in a particularly not good part of Chicago, but that still wasn't as bad as others could be.
Well, I
And but yeah, no, it just definitely to me as captured the
right.
the
Well,
absolute chaotic detail
right.
of of
Well, ironically,
the big city.
the word crippled is in the first line that I quoted. I guess I guess maybe it could be crippled in more ways than physically. It could be crippled by poverty. It could be crippled by um, like his circumstance, their
That is
circumstance.
very true. That
You know,
is very true.
because God,
Absolutely.
God knows when you're poor, you feel crippled. So I mean, that could possibly be it, or
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
it
Poverty in
is.
itself definitely can be very crippling.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But I mean, that's just a guess on my part. I'm not really sure um, any more than I can say. But it was a good piece, and I thank you very much for sharing with us tonight. Wow, I got to scroll a long time. No, no, don't go that way. Scribble not. I knew who it was. I just had to go back for a reminder. Good gosh, my brain is French and fried. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this next piece, Pam, that I'm going to put up is by Lyrically Inclined, and it is called Read Me by Lyrically Inclined. So whenever you're ready.
all right.
Holy moly.
Read me as I emote, like a soft whisper, deafening silence of pleasure read in secret, hidden between the lines, beneath the undertones and innuendo. Beautifully expressed confessions upon your beautiful obsession. With my tongue, I write poetry on your skin, erotic psalms like scripture, making your senses tingle. Let me paint a picture you can feel, passionate connection that's real. Dine upon your thighs, caressing your hips with my lustful aggression. Let me feed your voracity, your insatiable appetite, fiendish for my attention. So I wish to feed her salaciously, laying my heart upon your page, displaying my proclivity to breathe you in. You're my aphrodisiac, my poetic paramour. I desire you. Never again shall you doubt my love. End poem.
Nice read. Yeah, nice read. Um, wow, this is like a Wednesday piece. Good thing I have the fan running. I'm only kidding. I am. Nice lines all throughout this piece. But I was drawn to this one. With my tongue, I write poetry on your skin, erotic psalms like scripture, making your senses tingle. Let me paint a picture you can feel, passionate connection that's real. Um, I thought this was nicely written, very well done. Yes, yes, yes. It makes me want to go back and read the piece it was inspired by. Yeah, this was a great job, and so many nice lines. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I have to agree. Yeah, this is definitely setting the tone for tomorrow night's Art of Seduction show, which I can't remember if Lyrically Inclined has a piece in that show. I'll have to find out. And but yeah, this is a wonderful sensual right. I like how it speaks on love, lust, and desire, and the proving of love so that it will never be doubted. I like all the references to reading, and writing. Especially with my tongue, I write poetry on your skin, erotic psalms like scripture, making your senses tingle, not tangle. So, and let me paint a picture you can feel. Wonderful lines and very well done by Lyrically Inclined.
right, right. Well, PM, that tingle leads to the tangle. 9 out of
That's
10.
what I one leads to the other.
Pretty
So
much.
they should work. They work together very well, definitely.
Absolutely. Okay. See. Okay, let's see. Hello, Monty G25. Oh, Monty G. Point 25. Oh, I can't forget that point. Makes it
I
work.
know it's there. It's just so tiny. Like it's like
I
I
know.
don't.
Oh my gosh. This next piece that I'm going to put up is called A Doomed Door by Julie Buck. And let's see now. See if I can read this the way she wrote it. It wasn't my choice going mental at age 28. A doomed door opened up, letting in irrational phobias, paralyzing panic, and a portrait of a person poisoned with paranoia. The moon mourned for me, like the pages in a book. I'd flipped through them fast, needing to look into my next chapter. No chance at all I could beat this plague. With much searching, counseling, meds, I'd even pray. Decades later, I finally saw a very dim light. That was a very good day. End poem.
Great read, Jean. This has really strong lines with a really gritty feeling. Um, it's a great use of alliteration, especially paralyzing panic, a portrait of a person poisoned with paranoia. This definitely feels like it speaks on schizophrenia. And besides some of the other lines, I don't know if she actually put that in her AN, I didn't check, but the mention of the first line where it says, it wasn't my choice going mental at age 28. I was actually watching a video the other day on schizophrenia, and women are more likely than men to have an onset of symptoms in their late 20s. They're actually more likely to go through their first episodes later in life. So it was interesting that I had watched that video just the other day, and then Julie wrote this poem. I like the strong lines with the great use of spacing, and I like how it shows the struggle with a mental health disorder, and where it seems as if the mind is falling apart and that nothing is working. So excellent, right? And very well done.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, good points there. Good points made there, Pam. I can talk. Um, yeah, I like this piece. I thought it was nicely penned by Joy and nice use of alliteration in that second stanza. I have to agree with you there. And I picked it up here. No chance at all I could beat this plight. With much searching, counseling, meds, I'd even pray. Decades later, I finally saw a very dim light. That was a very good day. Yeah, so um, it's nice to know there's a light at the end of that tunnel there. But very well done, and thanks for sharing with us, Julie. Much appreciated it. You know, I just looked at the time, Pam. It is like already
I
quarter.
know it flies when you're having fun.
Jeez Louise. Well, I guess whatever we don't finish tonight, I'll carry over to Friday. So I don't want anybody to be surprised. Um, there's maybe a few pieces left. Um, and this next piece that I'm going to put up is Death's Dark Room by Garanwi. So Pam, whenever you are ready.
All right. Bold men pray and call to God, weeping at death's dark, bitter taste. Life is their lover, death their sour self, a coffin communion in funeral winds, blown to holy watered graves. Men die strangers all alone. Hard bidden men raise frightened eyes, angry at death's dark, bitter taste. Death will be their lover as blood runs from their veins. Altar blessed with absolution, given in cold crossed naves. Men die strangers all alone. Poets scribble and judge us all, clever at death's dark bitter taste. Virgin white and Pilati moral, we watch We wash our hands while in death's dark room. Shapes in shadows wait for us. Poets die strangers, lost and alone. End poem.
Wow, what a great piece. Um, wow. Yeah, this is a really strong piece, and I like I like the tone of it. Let's put it that way. It, you know, heart. Well, trying to think of how I want to attack this. Uh, Hard-bitten men raise frightened eyes, angry at death's dark, bitter taste. Death will be their lover as blood runs from their veins. Altar blessed with absolution given in cold cross naves. Men die strangers all alone. I like how he has men die strangers all alone, men die strangers all alone, but in the end, he changes it over to poets, and he said, poets die strangers, lost and all alone. I thought that was uh, a nice touch, you know. And I like that last stanza as well. So very well done, Garanwi. I really appreciate this, right? And thank you so much for sharing with us. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Jean. Yeah, I thought this was wonderful. It's very powerful lines, amazing imagery and metaphors. Um, I like the consistency in tone. I like how it speaks on the idea of death as both something that is feared and loved, and the idea of how even the strongest of people um, have to face the reality that death will take them down. I too like the transition of men die strangers all alone and poets scribble and judges all. Poets die strangers lost and all alone. That idea that
Mhm.
no matter how much we communicate, like poets and artists and authors, they communicate so much of themselves through their work, especially poets. And yet in the end, even with reading all our poetry, it's still just going to be between us and death at the end. Really wonderful lines throughout and very well done.
Mhm. Okay. Hmm. Okay, this next piece that I'm going to put up is by S. DeHaven. That's so weird. Huh. I have three pieces here for as audios, but I only see two now. Okay, must be my imagination. This one is called Sunset Over Caddo Hall by S.E. DeHaven. Light falls like burnished copper. Cicada thrum as the violet creeps. Jasmine slow and genuine. Across clouds edged and scrolled in gold leaf. Sundown over red brick, North Louisiana hills. Breath of pine and paper mill. Scent of lake water and the rosy fronds of autumn cypress. Breathing through the 3 inches that the window could open. Sultans of swing spinning on the silver CD player, purchased on stamps from packs and packs of my uncle's menthol cools. Memory paints everything in oil pastel. The white cinder block room, the emerald carpet over graying tile, the blonde wood dorm furniture, our golden futures. All edges softened by time, and the glow of the sun falling into the cool arms of night. End poem.
Great read, Jean. This has such beautiful imagery and captivating lines. SED Haven definitely brings us back in time with her to see, life in that period for her. And the idea, like, I feel like this is such a treat for the senses. I really enjoy and appreciate the nostalgia. I like how it speaks on family, but it also speaks on the idea of a place that is important and the idea of that the night which embraces nature and great lines throughout. I did especially like breath of pine and paper mill, scent of lake water, and the rosy fronds of autumn cypress breathing through the 3 inches that the window could open. Wonderful lines and very well done.
Absolutely. I thought this was a great piece and a nice use of the word bank. Um, I smiled when I saw it was a word bank, but it definitely reads as nostalgia for sure. I thought there were clever lines throughout. I love this. I think it's the way it started. Yes. Light falls like burnished copper. Cicada thrum as a violet creeps, as the violet creeps. Jasmine slow and genuine across clouds edged and scrolled in gold leaf. Sundown over red brick North Louisiana hills. I love the use of the colors in that. I think that it helped to paint that picture, and it did it really well. And of course, I like that same stanza you did, Pam. I was drawn to that one as well. But yes, this is a good piece all the way through. It makes me wonder, yeah, how much is truth and how much is made up for the word bank. But I think that it all reads as true. It really does. Um,
Absolutely, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, it really does. There's so much. It feels like there's so much truth in this. She just happened to be able to put those word bank words in it, which I think is great. Definitely wonderful job. Okay, we go over and that's my read, right?
That's a good question. Um, I don't remember at
Yeah.
this point.
Oh, yeah, let me look. Little men pray, call to God. You read Geronimo. I think you read Geronimo.
Okay.
Okay. So this piece is called My Eulogy by Ermintrude 5. And whenever you're ready, Pam.
All right. Remember me when I am gone, far into some distant land, when you can no more take me by the hand, and when in your mind, like a passing dream, I slowly fade away. Think of the times we shared together. Our love for each other was never better. The good times and bad we took in our stride. Nothing could part us. We stood side by side. For life for us was a wonderful time. Meeting each other was destiny's design. And think of me on sunny days when we would walk in country haze. The birds would sing and fly around. Oh, such joy was to be found. And moonlight strolls along the sand, barefoot both and hand in hand. And in the rain we would splash and play. This is fun, we used to say, and spiders' webs with morning dew in forests sparkled as we walked through. All these things are our memories to share, to remember forever, to keep and to care. But best of all is our time together, is something we can always treasure. Our ups and downs we took in our stride. Life for us was a magical ride. But thinking of life, it's been good to me, better than some, I must agree. But all good things must have an end, for life is but a journey to comprehend. The good things, the bad, and the in between, we take in our stride through life's mystic scene. But now where I go is a new strange place, maybe another journey for me to face. It could be in heaven, possibly hell, but until I get there, who can tell what lies beyond that unknown veil? A brave new realm I now must prevail. Yet then again, there could be nothing more. waiting for me behind a door. The end of the line for my tired soul. Complete nothingness, is this my goal? Now I've finally shed this mortal coil, being no more after life's weary toil. End poem.
Nice read, Pam. I thought this was a great piece penned. There was good imagery throughout, nice rhyme and meter. And I guess, I would think to myself, well, when you think about doing your own eulogy, you kind of think about all those things in life that you've done, maybe haven't done, you know, and to be able to put that all down and to still be grateful, you know, and accepting of what's going on from here, I mean, what happens next? What's next, everybody? Um, some say nothing, some say everything. But I thought this was a nice piece. I liked his, uh, I guess reminiscing would be reminiscing on all the good times and the wonderful times, and those walks and what have you, all those wonderful things. So I mean, it's really nicely done. So thank you so much, Ermintrude Five. Very well done. Very well done. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree. Another new name for me. Always good to see a new name. This had really some heartfelt line, a bit of philosophy at the end, great rhyme and flow. And I like how it does speak on time spent together, and the ups and downs in life, taking it all in stride, and wonderful lines throughout. But I really like, but all good things must have an end, for life is but a journey to comprehend the good things, the bad, and the in between. We take in our stride through life's mystic scene. Wonderful lines, beautifully written, and very well done. And great show tonight, Jean.
Thank you, Pam. You too. You too. We have two carryovers for Friday. One is by Way Down Upon Joy, and the other one is by the Repercussionist. So, if anyone didn't, if either one of you own those pieces, Friday night, 10 o'clock, somewhere thereabouts. Um, yeah, what a great show. Great poetry. It was nice to have the fellas joining us. We had some people listening over there on YouTube, and we appreciate you as well. We just don't know who you are, you know. But yeah, it was a nice night. Monty, it's good to see you back. Next time you need to get a hall pass, so that way you can sign out. I don't. Pam, did you sign his time off sheet?
You know what? I did not. He snuck past us.
Yes, you did, because I didn't sign it either. I did not sign it either.
Maybe Rex signed it just before he left and
That
forgot
could
to
be
tell us.
Rex or JoJo, one of those two, probably.
Yes, it must have been one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. No, so it's all good. Yeah, you just tell us anything you want us to believe there, Monty. Come on now. Get out of here. Yeah, JoJo whistles innocently. We know who did it now.
Yeah, we know the guilty party.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you again on Friday. Pam, what do you got? You got tomorrow's show? What's that?
Is there part sinner, part saint tonight?
Yes, there is. There's part sinner, part saint tonight after the show. Sorry.
All right. All right. Just making sure. Just making sure. And this week I have Break On Through at Saturday at 10 p.m. Oh, yes. And also tomorrow night, 10 p.m. is The Art of Seduction with me and Gray Eyes.
Okay, I was trying to get at what the topic was, but okay.
Oh, well, it's The Art of Seduction.
Okay, I didn't know if you had a specific thing that you were working on.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, everybody. Nice to see you all. Good night.